pick some of the top number 9s that will have success in this World Cup. So who do you got for your top number 9s who you think will be able to lead their teams in this cup?
Listen, for me, when you actually go to a number 9 is a goal scorer, someone who actually works and lives in and around that penalty area, someone who sniffs out opportunities from wide areas when the ball's played into your possession, seizing upon the opportunity, a player who's the match winner, the headline maker. That is what a number 9 is. A number 9 is someone who doesn't track back always. A number 9 that I played with used to stay in and around that penalty area, waiting for opportunity. And in this World Cup in particular, with it being an extended World Cup, number 9s might seize upon the opportunity to break some records when it comes to goals scoring. Those names that you just mentioned there, iconic names. Why? Because they score goals. Why? Because they're in the right area at the right time to score important goals. Weaker opposition, I think, possesses an opportunity for these goal scorers to be difference makers. But there are a few that stand out to me, Stefano, who need to have a good World Cup. And there's one in particular who's coming off the back of a remarkable season, and that is, of course, Sir Harry Kane. How important he is for England, I can't even begin to mention. How important he is for Bayern Munich, I can't even begin to mention. His goal score in this campaign has been truly sensational. He takes so many opportunities, obviously, in front of goal. He drops off. He does play a bit of a different number 9. He's the one that will go searching and spray the ball over. He can afford to do that when it comes to Bayern Munich. For England, I don't think you'll see that as frequently. I think he'll stay in that number 9 position, potentially to be the match winner more than not. He's a great player. The goal scoring this season for Bayern Munich, breaking record after record, 36 goals in the Bundesliga, is absolutely incredible. And he obviously is someone who's scoring a goal per game average. For England, I think he's the most important player England have at the World Cup. If he plays well, England generally win. When Harry Kane looks like he's happy and confident, the rest of the group sort of mirror his image, his confidence, the way that they connect with each other, the chemistry of this group. That's what a true leader is. But if you can score goals on top of that, being a true number 9, I think you can be the next level. Let's not forget he's going into a Ballon d'Or year where potentially he's up for a candidate of winning that award. To get the award now after Bayern not getting to a final of a Champions League, even if you do have a record-breaking point-setting, goal-setting season for Bayern Munich, you got to win the World Cup. Right. And if England are going to win a World Cup, Harry Kane's going to be the number 9 to win it all.
These are the opponents for England going into the group stage: Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. I agree with you. I think if England are going to have any success, it needs to be a historic World Cup for Harry Kane. And you mentioned the Ballon d'Or. Yeah, I guess at this point he has to win the World Cup because they didn't get to that final. I would have said he was the clubhouse leader for Ballon d'Or had they even just gotten to the Champions League final. Obviously ran into PSG, which was an issue, but this is the team this is a player that needs to have success for his team to win. I would argue that there is no more important number 9 in this World Cup other than Harry Kane.
Ooh.
Yep.
My second might actually challenge you with that one.
Okay.
I think your man, Julián Alvarez, could be the game changer for Argentina. We're all talking about Messi, Messi. Why wouldn't we? Greatest player ever to have played our game as far as I'm concerned. But Julián Alvarez, coming off the back of a disappointing season for Atleti, they didn't achieve what they wanted to achieve. He did score goals, not enough as far as I'm concerned, but he's still scoring goals.
Right.
For Argentina, he could be the game changer. I really do believe that. Argentina needs someone outside of Lionel Messi to be scoring goals, to taking opportunities. Lionel Messi is not necessarily the one that I think right now we can rely on, can actually turn the game now, pick up the ball from the halfway line, beat every single player and score, like we saw in 2022. That happened.
Yes.
I don't think that can happen every single game for Messi. It probably will still happen, but not every single game. Yeah. Now you need a goal scorer, right? Let Messi be the creator. Let Messi not have to run as far. Let Messi be the one that can lay the ball off and have a leading goal scorer. Messi's still probably going to break the all-time leading goal scoring record in the World Cup history. But Julián Alvarez, I think, holds the key as that number 9, someone who sniffs around opportunity. Look at him at Atleti. He kept Sorloth on the bench for the majority of the time. He was deadly and dangerous. But something else in the back of my mind is that potential move away from Atleti. All the rumours to Barcelona. Where do you make the headlines? The World Cup's where it's at. If you want to be that player, that man, the one that's most talked about, you got to score the most goals. I wouldn't be surprised to see if Julián Alvarez is the Golden Boot winner at the end of this competition. I wouldn't be surprised.
It's an interesting one. I would agree. Obviously, these are the opponents for Argentina. A favorable group for them. Now, will not be easy against Algeria. This is a tough game for sure. But virtually an easier group in comparison. I will agree with you that Julián Alvarez is a very important player, but I think it's more from a personal standpoint. The Argentina number 9, that shirt weighs a lot. We talk about the number 10. The number 9 shirt, you go through the history, some incredible strikers for Argentina in their history. The issue is that I don't think it's as important for the team because they have a backup in waiting. And if Julián doesn't perform, Lautaro Martinez will come into a game and be able to score goals and take that job from Julián Alvarez. As of right now, it's his job. Julián, he needs to go out and prove it, though. But I don't think that it's as important for Argentina for him to be the out-and-out goal scorer because they have some other players that can come in if he's not performing.
Yeah, I understand that. But if you actually get off to a great start and you score goals early on, because this is going to be a tough game, Algeria, right?
Sure.
They're a very difficult team. Yeah. They've lost 1 game in 20.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
22 or something, yeah.
I do think that if Julián Alvarez gets off to a great start, scores 2 goals or maybe even a hat-trick or the winning goal, you ain't moving him.
No, of course not.
Lauti might have to be patient. And Lautaro, okay, wants to be the starter for this national team, but he's also had his opportunity ahead of Julián a lot of the time. It hasn't quite worked out, and he's sometimes been forced out of the squad and sometimes had to fight his way back into the squad. But Julián quietly goes about his business until he scores goals, and then he's the headline maker. I know Lionel Messi will grab all the headlines, and I think that's a good thing for Julián Alvarez. He doesn't need to be a headline maker. He doesn't need to be a match winner because he's got Lionel Messi where all the eyeballs on the Argentinian national side will be on. He's going to score goals, man. And I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to throw it out there. I know it's a crazy number, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him score 8, 9, or 10 goals in this World Cup because of the opposition and because of the players that are surrounding this star.
Without a doubt. The talent is there, and he needs to be the guy for truly if Argentina are going to have success and try to winning back-to-back World Cups. All right, who else do we got?
Listen, goal scoring is always a very difficult one, right? And I think when you look at talented players, for the Brazilian national side, they're entertainers. I love Endrick. He's the difference maker. For Lyon, he was very, very good this year. The loan move was excellent. But for Brazil, he's going to have a bit of competition, obviously, first and foremost, getting into the squad. He's obviously getting competition trying to get into the starting 11. There's no guarantees that he even starts for Brazil. But these numbers ain't no joke, right? Going to Lyon, the best move he made was going to play football games. He needed to put that smile on his face again, feel the joy, see the samba dance, and enjoy playing football. That's why he is in this Brazilian squad, because of the decision to make, I'm going to go play football now. I'm going to go enjoy my game. Real Madrid ain't for me at this moment in time. Let me be successful. Why? Because he knew the World Cup was right around the corner, and he needed to be playing to get there. But also for Ancelotti, he loves a star, right? And he needs someone to step up. He loves a kid. He knows the kid. And I do think that that move has really put him into the squad, but also with the group that they've got, there's potential goals out there for Endrick. He will have competition with Igor Thiago. Let's not forget about that one. Almost won the Golden Boot in the Premier League, Igor Thiago. He was absolutely sensational. So which way Ancelotti goes, with the hot hand in Igor Thiago, or does he go with the kid who's got a bit of pressure on his shoulders, but still immense amount of talent, probably better than anyone else outside of maybe Vinicius Jr. in that squad and Neymar? I think this could be the guy we're talking about when this World Cup's over. Brazil might not win it, but there's going to be that young star that comes out of this World Cup that's going to leave us all just breathtaking. And I hope it's him, because he, to me, is absolutely beautiful to watch as a footballer. And as a number 9, I think he's going to get better and better and better. And in that group right there, as long as he doesn't do it against Scotland, he's got a chance of being the top goal scorer in that group.
Of course. Credit to Endrick for making that decision at such a young age to put it all aside and leave Real Madrid to go play football somewhere. Not every young player would make that decision, so credit to him for doing this. These are the odds for your 3 strikers to watch in this tournament to be the Golden Boot. An interesting stat that I was just told, the last time that there was double-digit goals scored by the Golden Boot winner, 1970 in Mexico. So an interesting one to look at. What do you think of these odds?
Yeah, I mean, Harry Kane obviously grabs my attention more than anything. Not obviously the minus 200 is something I would probably stay away from. But at the end of the day, the Golden Boot is where it's at, right? And I just mentioned to you there, the one that I wouldn't be surprised with to win the Golden Boot would be Julián Alvarez.
Yep.
At plus 3,000 is absolutely insane. This is a wild one to go for because we have no idea how many minutes he's going to play. Does he go in front of Igor Thiago? Does Neymar come back and grab the headlines? We don't know. So that's why that number's there. But if you're just looking for a dark horse, I wouldn't say that I'm running away from that too far. But Harry Kane at plus 700, And England's opportunity to go all the way to the final is clearly there. For Julián Alvarez, it's also there. But as you mentioned out there, we will see Lauti at some point play, and Julián will probably take a rest. Maybe he plays alongside Lauti. We don't really know how that's going to work for Argentina. That could happen.
We have seen it before. We have seen those two playing at the same time. Never starting together, but eventually making it onto the pitch together. Exactly. So it will be interesting. The options are there for Argentina. But these three players, I think we're going to see them star quite a bit.
My three?
Huh? I do. I like your three. The Endrick one obviously is interesting because we don't know exactly how much he's going to play, but I think that this is his moment. This is a moment for him to shine. He wants to get back to a Real Madrid level club or Real Madrid 100%. Itself, so he has to go out and prove it. He already did it with Lyon, and now he's going to go try to prove it in the World Cup. And again, Brazil needs star power, right? They need their star players to step up if they're going to have success.
There's more to come from this kid. Watch this space. There's more to come. There's a hero in there.